This one is going to be my biggest unboxing yet. So I think I need to clear a little bit of space on my desk before I even get this out of the box. I'm going to make a box. I think it's going to go here in the middle. I mean, that almost certainly isn't enough room for it, but we'll see. It says, take a deep breath. You're about to experience the natural beauty of colour reflective LCD technology. It's not small. So I want to say thank you to Sunvision Display for sending out this unit. It is a loan unit, and I've even signed something to say that I better look after it. I have been using the little iMu 10-inch tablet occasionally as a little space for typing, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how this will actually go on my full workstation here. But this, wow, this should be better. Just having this permanently on the desk connected to my PC. What do we get? We get HDMI cable, looks like bits of stand, power with your different international adapters. It's quite heavy. I haven't seen any instructions yet, but I'm guessing it should just make sense. So I'm really looking forward to editing video on it, and that's what really gets my eyes in long sessions when I'm here on these screens editing these videos. I'm also looking forward to typing on it, having permanent space on the desk where I can enjoy not ruining my eyes with LCD screens. I think that must be right. It does seem to only have HDMI, not DisplayPort, which is fine. DisplayPort's perfectly fine, of course, but I was wondering if it would have both. I think what it is this stand connects into here, yeah. Whereas you can use the other connectors to allow you to connect it to any other monitor arm. I don't think that stand leaves you with much in the way of adjustment though, which it might need if you need to get the balance just right of the reflected light from big light sources in the room. Let's get it stood up. Yeah, fit there. Manual, of course. There is a little bit of tilt in that arm actually. Okay, let's just drop the cables in and get it booted. Here we are. And of course, mandatory. So the first thing I'll say about this is you're looking at a video and it probably looks completely black to you. It doesn't look completely black to me. Reflective LCD screens, RLCD, always look really much darker on video than they do in reality. It does use only the reflected light in the room. And I have to say, my first thoughts are this is not perfect. I can see a big difference if I tilt it around this way towards the window. You can see now it looks a bit brighter, but if I tilt it the other way, then it's totally unusable. I've got my one light source in the center of my room, and there's a light illuminating me and some lights behind it, which are unnecessary for this, but are useful for the video. This would be too dark in this angle. This would be bright enough to actually have a really pleasant use of it. However, I can see the reflection of the window behind me. That's a difficult one. The setup of your room and the available light source is going to be whether this is a delight to use or just a frustration and an impossibility to use. So this is going to be the most useful position for me to have it like right in the middle, being my main sort of screen for typing, and for editing I'd have my timeline on it. But here it's not evenly illuminated. You can perhaps see this on the camera to give you a bit more like what my view is like. You see it looks impossibly dark on there, but however this side is lighter than this side because that's the window side. So I need to make some kind of adjustments I think in the room to do this. And I know Voya had a big panel here to sort of reflect a bit more light on there. That's possible. But then you're really getting to the point where your screen technology is dictating your workspace. So I did wonder whether they would put in front lights into this panel, and they haven't. There are no front lights like on an Eink tablet. that might be challenging at this size, but also I think that would remove one key benefit, and that key benefit of having no flicker is something that you would want to keep in here. Now, this should be great outdoors, and I perhaps will try it for the full review outdoors as well, although I don't think this is going to become an outdoor monitor or anything like that, but just to see what it's like in absolutely full bright sunlight. Be interesting to see as the light changes and I get the light in here in the evenings. This is quite diffuse sort of north light at the minute, but in the evenings I get sunlight onto this desk, and I actually have to put the blinds down a lot of the time when I'm working. Because it's designed, I think, for outdoors, it's a 12 volt adapter, so you can actually use a 12 volt battery to power this thing. If you just had a 12 volt battery with an adapter with the same size plug. The key benefits of the RLCD is you're getting no flicker as you do from the LCD screens. You're getting no blue light as well. You're just getting whatever is the light reflected in the room, and that will change the way it looks, because if you've just got warm light, then the whole thing will look warmer as well. But I do think if you're going to invest in this, you are going to have to do a little bit of customization of the lighting solution. For instance, I think having maybe some small LED panels behind me illuminating the screen forward might be a way to go, so I will try that a little bit later on. And one thing I will do, I wanted to unbox this and give you my first thoughts out of the box without knowing anything really about the best way to use this screen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a call and a discussion with the people at Sunvision Display, and they're going to help me get the most out of this. I'll persevere with this, and you'll have my more complete ideas about this once I've really spent a bit of time getting to know it as a technology and making sure that I am giving you the best use of it rather than just my first thoughts on it. This technology has come from the great outdoors. It's come from sort of digital signage, where you can have much lower power consumption for your digital signage, and that's a really great use. So you definitely need a large diffuse light source probably behind you when you're using this to get the best out of it. That is my first thoughts anyway. The window is quite good, but I'd want a reflector here, and in the evening I've got a feeling this might be really difficult to use the way my room is currently set up, at least. It does have less than 6 watts power consumption, so it is incredibly low power consumption. That's a good thing, obviously, as we're going towards a lower carbon future. However, if you then need to run lots of LEDs behind it, then that's going to be power consumption as well. One more limitation is this screen is full HD only, and it's been a while since I've used a screen this size, which is just full HD, and you remember at this point that you can actually see a pixelation, but a sort of normal working distance from that, this is perfectly fine for the purposes that it is, but you probably will still want to pair that with a higher resolution display. A QHD version or even 4K version in the future might be really nice. But this is already a really expensive piece of tech, and we're looking at almost $2,000 here. I can see a future for this technology, but the prices would have to come down. If it is a technology that does take off, then it will sell more and the price will come down. And if this is really that much more comfortable for a full day working here on the computer, I've got a bit of writing to do now and I've got to pull this off the memory card and start editing, and if it is way more comfortable, then it will be totally worth that price tag. So, and perhaps if it is that good, then you might sit here on the desk for a longer term, because maybe I will ask them to actually let me purchase this from them. If this technology really is eye safe, if it's the no flicker, no blue light, if that makes as much a difference to our working lives as we're all hoping, then this technology will then be very worth the price, and it will be popular with people who have to spend long times working with display screens. I am going to force myself to be really critical if it doesn't do what it says because of that price tag. I would hate for you to buy this for £2,000 and find that it doesn't suit you. If I've said, because I'm a very positive reviewer, I must admit, I'm a very positive person in general, and so I'm going to need to be really critical to make sure that I give you my best opinions of this, and I will. But if it is like the iMove and you can look at it and you can feel your eyes relaxing, and if that is the case, at the end of my day, I'll have less eye strain than I do normally, and that would be brilliant. So I've got some writing to do now. I'll give it a go. I'll work on editing these videos on it, and I'll give you my full thoughts after several weeks.